Some more reaction to all the breaking news. Joining us now, Congressman Eric Swalwell. He's a Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, also serves on the Judiciary Committee. Congressman, thanks for joining us.
Good evening, Wolf.
All right, so let me first get your quick reaction to the testimony, the written statement we all read once, twice, maybe three times from Comey.
We want to hear from him tomorrow, but when you read that statement, Wolf, it is wrong that the president demanded loyalty for James Comey to keep his job. It was wrong that he asked him to drop the case against his friend Michael Flynn, and it was wrong that he hounded obsessively James Comey to, as he called it, lift the cloud around the Russia investigation.
Well, I take it you also disagree with the president's personal attorney who says the president feels completely and totally vindicated. You disagree with that, I assume, as well.
I do. And vindicated from what, Wolf? Every investigation that has taken place, the president has interjected, interfered, and tried to disrupt. And all we want on the House and Senate side are honest investigations, and for the special counsel, Robert Mueller, to be able to conduct his without interference from the White House. So it's very early, and certainly too early to say anyone has been vindicated.
Well, he says the president feels vindicated because Comey said on 3 different occasions, and he publicly said it in his testimony, the president was not under investigation in the Russia probe. Let me get your reaction, though, to that other disturbing element that the former FBI director said the president asked him to let go of the Michael Flynn investigation. Some have suggested, including our own Jeffrey Toobin, our legal analyst, that potentially could lead to obstruction of justice charges. What do you think?
Well, Wolf, I miss being a prosecutor in the courtroom, so I'll leave it to them to decide. But it is obstructive, and it looks like an abuse of power for the president to ask the FBI director to let his friend, campaign advisor, and national security advisor to be let off the hook. But that's a criminal probe that hopefully is underway. Our job on the Intelligence Committee is to understand what the Russians did, who, if anyone in the United States they worked with, and to make sure that this never, ever happens again, because this mess has prevented us in Washington from doing the work we were sent here to do, and we want to move forward and past it.
How high would the bar be to go forward with a charge of obstruction of justice?
Well, again, that's a decision for prosecutors, and they'll have to look at whether there's other corroborating evidence as well. But, you know, to the regular person at home, when the president asked the FBI director to let the case against his friend go, that just looks obstructive. It looks like he's abusing his power.
Comey will also say tomorrow that the president told him he needed loyalty, that he expected loyalty. The former FBI director said he promised honesty. But what does this loyalty pledge that the president requested tell you?
Well, it tells me that the president is running the White House in a way that, you know, people work for him have to, you know, give their loyalty, otherwise their job is at stake. And Wolf, it's okay to expect people who work for you to be loyal, but when you put that in the context of your friends being under investigation or your campaign being under investigation and then dangling the person's job over their head, that's where you cross the line.
The president, Comey said the president also asked him to, quote, lift the cloud, talking about those unconfirmed salacious allegations in that dossier. Former FBI director said the president emphasized the problems that was causing him. It does sound like that dossier, at least early on, was very much on the president's mind.
Well, it's something that we are seeking to either rule in or rule out. You know, we want to see if we can corroborate what was in it or repudiate it. And again, all we want, Wolf, is to be able to pursue the facts wherever they go. And every time our investigation or the FBI investigation starts to make progress, the president seems to rear himself into the investigation. And we are just asking him to get out of the way and let us conduct it and tell the American people what happened.
You also saw in that testimony Comey saying he asked the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, to prevent future communications between Comey and the president, calling the president's request for the Attorney General to leave the room, in Comey's word, inappropriate. What does that tell you about Comey, that Comey didn't want to be left alone with the President of the United States?
It also tells me that he may have seen intent from the president by asking other witnesses to leave the room. That way he could have a one-on-one private conversation with the FBI director, which, Director Comey felt was improper, especially considering that the president's campaign was under investigation and the president was talking about that investigation. And also, Wolf, Comey mentioned that under President Obama, he never felt the need to memorialize or write down conversations with the president, and here he felt like he had to. I think that shows just how serious he thought the president's behavior was.
Yes, that he only had 2 conversations with President Obama. He didn't write contemporaneous notes or a memorandum following either of those, but he did write a lot of memorandum following his 9 different phone and in-person conversations with Mr. Trump. He also mentioned, Comey, in his testimony, that there are unclassified, he used the word unclassified memos about those conversations, also conversations about those meetings he had with the president, with other officials. He said there were other White House officials who were present during some of those meetings. So does that give you and your committees, both Judiciary and Intelligence, more items to investigate?
Yes, we would like to hear from those individuals because it would also show us what Director Comey's state of mind was. If he truly was writing these memos down and expressing his concerns to other individuals, that would corroborate, I think, that he truly was concerned about the president's conduct.
Do you know if there were any tapes of those phone or in-person conversations? The president himself, in that famous tweet a few weeks ago, he raised the possibility of, quote, tapes.
The Judiciary Committee, where I sit, Wolf, we are seeking any and all tapes, any and all documents relating to this. So we hope to find out either it was the president conducting a secret taping system in the White House or using that threat, or using the threat of a taping system to try and chill Director Comey. Either way, I don't think it turns out well.
Senator Burr, the Intelligence Committee chairman in the Senate, he said that Comey had told him this would be his only public testimony. Does that hinder your House investigation if Comey refuses to testify before any other panels?
We certainly want to hear from the former director, whether it's in public, that would be ideal, or in a private setting. I also do not want to do anything that would disrupt the investigation that is taking place. And so if Special Counsel Mueller, if it was his preference that we do not have Director Comey come forward, I think that's something we should consider as well.
Where does your investigation stand in the House of Representatives? Do you expect anyone else to testify soon?
We better. The American people are expecting us to. So we've subpoenaed witnesses. That was released last week, including Michael Flynn and Michael Cohen. We've asked for documents. So I'd like to get people going this summer. And I am encouraged. You saw last night Chairman Conaway and Ranking Member Schiff issued a statement that progress is being made, and hopefully we'll report back soon.
You call him Chairman Conaway, Mike Conaway. He's the Republican who's helping lead this investigation. He's not the chairman of the committee. Still is Devin Nunes, right?
He is. Michael Conaway is the chair for all intents and purposes of the Russia investigation, and it stays that way.
Yeah, Nunes has recused himself, although some are suggesting maybe not completely. You want to respond to that?
Well, we believe that it was right for Devin Nunes to step aside. I don't believe he should be signing any subpoenas as he has been doing or reviewing any documents, and really leave it to an honest, independent investigation that can make progress. And so I think we've seen that under Chair Conaway and Ranking Member Schiff, and we don't want to go back to where we were about a month and a half ago.
As you know, there was a Senate Intelligence Committee hearing today, and both the Director of National Intelligence, the Director of the NSA, they both said they couldn't answer questions posed by the senator, saying they need to work through the legal counsel at the White House, even suggesting in a closed-door session. What does that tell you that both of these intelligence officials are saying?
Well, I believe if they could have denied what was being alleged in the Washington Post this morning, they probably would have done it. But if they did hear something, they should say something to the American people. The stakes here are very high. We're talking about interference in our elections, allegations involving the White House and the president's campaign. And so if the president was asking them to be involved in the Russia investigation, we have a right to know.
Because some are already using the word a cover-up. You're not ready to go that far.
Oh, no, certainly not. I hope that in a closed session we hear just what the president said, why he said it, and what these individuals did once they were told this. But it's too early to go there, Wolf.
Congressman Eric Swalwell, thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
We have a lot more coming in.